So I saw that Pokemon Presents this morning, and funny thing, was it Pokemon Legends AZ? Turns out they're changing up the combat a bit. You're actually able to move around and reposition yourself, so you technically can dodge now. Well, command the Pokemon to dodge, I suppose. Not really what I would have preferred, but hey, Pokemon can finally dodge after that's how long now? 20. I want to say 29 years of games? And only now is like dodging and mechanic after it's been in the anime since the beginning. Or at least as long as the anime's been around. Just pretty much almost as long, late 90s. God damn. Things are old now. I'm old now. I don't know. I guess it just doesn't look all that impressive to me. Like, I don't know, the way it was looking, and I was. Why am I reminded of Nino Kuni for some reason? Weird. Anyways, just thought it was kind of funny, because a while back, a friend and I online were kind of got into this whole thing about, like, how would a Pokemon game work with a real-time combat system. I think that it could work. Like, there's some ideas there. Like, you can make some adjustments on like some of the mechanics and actually make it work. I think he's just more dedicated to like the turn-based combat, though. I don't know. Another odd thing that happened recently. This one, same day. A Shrek 5 teaser. Just to show off the voice cast, which, I mean, it's mostly the same, so I don't really see why. All they did was add Zendaya for Shrek's daughter. She's like a teenager now. Man, time is weird. A lot of people are complaining about the redesigns for the characters now. It's like, I get it, he's probably gonna look a little different because he's older, but I don't know, something about the design just looks weird. Like, it doesn't, like, they changed up the art style a bit. And I guess that's what's throwing people off. I don't know. Like, they were never going for like the kind of pretty aesthetics of a Disney character to begin with. That was kind of part of the joke, but like, I don't know, something feels off about the new designs now. It's weird. You think Shrek lost weight or something with the way he looks. I'm not sure what to make of that. Make a joke about people getting old and shit, but after seeing how my old man ended up a couple of days ago, it's like, damn. It is bizarre to think about, even. Just, yeesh. In more positive news, though, watching everyone's reactions to the whole Avatar 7 Havens thing is hilarious. So many videos of people either bemoaning the fact that they are back in the trenches trying to defend Korra, or just straight up clowning on her. It is fun to watch. Yeah, I need that to get through today sometimes. And I should make like a drawing or something. Be funny. If I wasn't already working on other stuff. Working on like the third background now. I gotta get like nuts. Another 9 done after this. And it's after some other errands I gotta get done in the morning. Still on the topic of time though. I was watching a video by Tactical Bacon Productions on the Legend of Spyro trilogy of all things. And kind of watch him kind of go through like his history with it and his feelings on it back then compared to now and all that. Kind of has me wondering, you know? Because between that and all this other stuff, from Pokemon finally having a new mechanic to Shrek's redesign to the new Avatar series, it kind of has me thinking, like, you know, time passes by, things change. Sometimes your thoughts on something might even change over time as well. And it's an interesting thing to think about. Like, how much will your feelings on something change as time passes by? Will you still hate the things you hated before? Will you view them in a better light? Or will it seem even worse in hindsight? It's kind of funny seeing all these different cases happening lately. Like right now, people ain't feeling so hot on the new Shrek design at the moment. Maybe it will grow on people, maybe it won't. It's kind of hard to tell right now. Clowning on Korra because of the whole post-apocalyptic thing in Seven Havens is hilarious, even though I still think they're probably gonna do like a whole plot twist thing with that, saying that there was something different and she actually stopped things from getting worse or something. You know how this kind of stories go. And then there's Pokemon, which I don't know what's been like their long-term game plan ever since the series went 3D, but it seems like they're kind of just been rushing game after game out the door to the point where Scarlet and Violet kind of came out the way it did, and now it's like, okay, maybe slow down a bit. Maybe stop pumping out games every other year and like actually try to focus on making sure that you have quality products coming out, because that seems weird to have that sort of thing happen with a Nintendo game, considering like even with like all the Pokemon Company shit going on there, it's still bizarre for a Nintendo IP to be having the kind of problems I expect out of like Assassin's Creed. And that series is running itself into the damn ground, goddamn. So yeah, seeing Pokemon of all things trying something new with their new open world format they started with, like Legends Arceus, is like it's baby steps really when you think about it, because like we've had games for decades that's been doing stuff like evading shit in an RPG since forever ago. So they're not exactly like cutting edge on that end, but you know, it's something that Pokemon can finally do it. About time. Even if it's not quite how I would have gone for it, because I still kind of prefer like a more real-time combat system where you react in real time to stuff happening in the middle of a fight. Maybe that's just my inner hack and slash fan talking, who knows. I'm playing lots of Devil May Cry and God of War, but and again at the same time I also play Kingdom Hearts, and that's considered more RPG than those two. Eh, yeah, what you will. Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, I'm pretty sure there was like a demo a while back for the Missing Link game. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be playing it because I played Union Cross and I don't want to go through gacha hell again. Goddamn power creep and shit just to get through story content, no thank you. But it also kind of ties into this whole thing with like passage of time and things changing and stuff because like there's all these new characters in a different time period than all the previous games I've covered so far. Some new mysteries and stuff going on. The only really familiar faces are like maybe two characters who have appeared in other games, mainly like Union Cross stuff, because it takes place after Union Cross but before the main series. And that's what happens when you have a lot of characters that start time traveling and shit. Shit gets complicated real fast. Even if it's just people from the past coming to the future. Kingdom Hearts 4 is probably going to take forever to come out, I swear. And it's kind of big to question, you know? Like, how much are all these different series changing, and how much do you want to see that change? How much of the change are you okay with? I'm sure everyone's has their thoughts. Yeah, just stuff I talked about so far already kind of show so many examples. Like, on one hand, do we need a Shrek 5? But on the other hand, certain people would like to see Shrek come back, but not at the same time, they're kind of doing like the modern social commentary thing. It's like, do we really want to see Shrek with TikTok or whatever? I don't know. It'd probably be a rough sell for me, especially since I don't even use TikTok. It looks like that's what they're spoofing, at least going off that teaser. But that and the Shrek memes from like a decade ago. So that's already gonna feel a bit dated, regardless. Yeah, it's gonna feel like a hill battle, ain't it? As for the Pokemon, though, I mean, no, the series has gone through so many changes over the years. I'm not even sure if I'm even gonna be playing anymore anytime soon. I've only played like Gens 2 and 4, but I check in every once in a while, like see what the newer gens are doing. I ain't keeping track of all the Pokemon names anymore. I stopped after Gen 4. I just can't be bothered to memorize all those names. I got other stuff I gotta be memorizing. Original stuff I gotta be memorizing, or other series stuff I gotta be memorizing. It's too much. I gotta think about other things. It's like, it's weird to look at. It's like I don't have as much of a problem with the art direction as some would. Like, yeah, the older games kind of had like a certain aesthetic to them, especially with like the art style from back then, where a lot of Pokemon seem more animal-like and less cartoony or blatantly just looking like furries in some cases, instead of like actual creatures. I mean, it's odd, but it's like not completely unheard of. I mean, just look at Machamp and all that. It's kind of weird that a lot of starters tend to just evolve to become bipedal, though. Strange pattern. I mean, I guess like the main thing for me that kind of had me fall off with Pokemon for a while was that the anime just felt repetitive and went on forever. Not really much going on beyond just, yeah, Ash going to new region. He didn't win the tournament this time. I mean, he finally did in like Gen 7, but like I checked out like a decade ago at that point. There's other stories to watch with other characters with more interesting stuff going on. And it happens. People move on. Shouldn't really be a problem. Once in a while I look back and it's like, oh, they finally got a new protagonist. That's interesting. It's kind of weird to think about, honestly. Just back and forth between keeping things the same or changing things up, or shouldn't be changing this or that, or this is too stale and it needs to change, or it's just gonna die. And I guess that's why it's interesting watching that Legend of Spyro video, because Tactical Bacon, he's like a diehard old school Spyro fan. He grew up with the PS1 trilogy like I did. Though he seemed far more averse to Legend of Spyro than I was. Maybe I was just used to the idea of multiple continuities and different versions of the characters with reboots and whatever, because I was also into Sonic, and there is never just one version of Sonic the Hedgehog for some godforsaken reason. There's always got to be like 2 to 3 different cartoon continuities or different comic book continuities, and movie version even now it's totally different from the game version. I swear there's got to be like 30 different versions of Sonic at this point. So yeah, seeing a different version of Spyro that wasn't the one I grew up with just didn't really seem to bother me as much as it did him at first. It's kind of funny to think about, because like the whole decade after he first played those games, because he didn't play them at release because like it wasn't what he wanted, he doesn't seem to hate them nearly as much now. It's like, yeah, they still have like their faults as games as a whole, because let's be honest, the combat was pretty repetitive for the first two especially, but he does seem to at least enjoy some aspects of the series more now than he did back then, from what it seems. Especially the third one. He seems to really like that one the most out of the 3. Oddly enough, it seems like he's liking Spyro 2 in particular less and less. But still holds 1 and 3 in high regard. It's funny how that works. I guess it kind of just had me thinking, like, how much would my own opinion change on some stuff I grew up with if I try playing them again now? I mean, I still enjoyed the original Spyro trilogy when I played Reignited, despite the changes they made. Still very much enjoy it in Mega Man, though I haven't played it lately. I've been seeing some videos on Hollow Knight again. I was wondering about that, because it's been like 5 years since I played that one. No, close to 5 years, maybe like 4.5. I still haven't gone through the rest of Kingdom Hearts 1 yet. I want to get back to playing that one. I mean, I still enjoy 2 more, I'm pretty sure, but 1 still has its charms. It does kind of have me wondering, though. Like, would my opinion on 2 change? Because I didn't hate 3 like some people did. At the same time, I'm also the kind of person that enjoyed Legend of Spyro for what it was instead of hating on it for not being the original. So let's be honest, the original series was kind of going downhill since Insomniac left. Like, the GBA games were alright, despite the whole isometric thing causing some issues with gliding for some people. And then, of course, there was the infamous Enter the Dragonfly. Hero's Tale was okay. Shadow Legacy was just kind of a mess. And it's a shame what happens to some good series. Like, you get some success for your first few entries, but then you start changing developers, and then things just start falling apart real quick. It's a strange feeling. It's like, you know it's a good series, you know it's fun. Some entries just aren't up to snuff. Just don't got that sauce like the OGs. So it made sense to like do a reboot at the time, especially since like more combat focused action games were really popular during that period. So like, I get it, they're probably like trying to change with the times to make it something that's still profitable. So they're just dying out immediately. I still think the stuff they did with Skylanders was kind of scummy though. You had to buy so much merch just to be able to play through the whole game and get all the content. Like, that's ridiculous. I'd rather Legend of Spyro over that, that's for sure. This has me wondering though. Like, is this just gonna be a thing that we keep doing with all kinds of media? Reboots that have to change things up to keep with the times and end up being sort of like a mixed bag on whether or not it'll even be good. Some stuff trying to stick to their guns but just don't change up the formula enough and just ends up becoming stale, and a lot of people end up leaving eventually. There's stuff that changes things up too much too fast and just ends up being off-putting for a lot of people. Especially when it does stuff that just ends up being more controversial than actually like contributing to the established IP, as it were. And there's a conversation to be had there about that, especially like all this different stuff happening at once. And it's kind of funny because like I didn't even plan for this to be like a centralized theme about time and things changing as you age. It kind of just occurred to me as I was looking back and forth between the Spyro video and the Shrek trailer and the Pokemon thing, like back to back in one day, and it all just kind of occurred to me like, damn, things really do just be changing with time as you get older, and all this sort of just occurring to me all at once back to back in a single day is kind of wild. It really makes you think about how much time be passing by. How much things change, how much you change. How much time you got left to do what you want to do before it might be too late. And if you'll even be okay with how much other things you enjoyed might change over time. For better or for worse. For justified reasons for the sake of their work or just to make a quick buck. There's a lot of ways you can go with this. Just something on my mind, I guess. Thought I don't know, get my thoughts out about it. So yeah. Just something to ponder there. How much do you think you'll change? How much are you okay with things you enjoy changing? It makes you wonder.